How do you want to show up every day, every moment, for every single area of your life, for everything, for yourself, for other people? How do you want to show up? Hi, my name is Lovelyn Bassey. And one of the key questions we need to really ask ourselves every day when we get out of bed is, how am I going to show up today? How am I going to show up today for myself? How am I going to show up today for my family? How am I going to show up today for my business, for my job, for my employees, for my boss? How am I going to show up for each and every single thing? Am I going to show up confident? Am I going to show up knowledgeable? Am I going to show up arrogant? Am I going to show up humble? Am I going to show up and take over everything? Am I going to show up and tear people down? Am I going to show up and be the blessing for everybody? Or am I going to show up and be the devil for everybody? These are things we need to actually ask ourselves. And we take it for granted. Sometimes we get out of bed. If you're a prayer person, maybe you say a prayer and then you get going, and we don't really think about how we want to show up in some of these areas of our lives. We even have an agenda of everything we are going to do, people we are going to meet, but do we really ask ourselves how we are going to show up in those meetings? Sometimes for those who are in corporate, and I've been in corporate before where I've had to go into boardrooms and I've had to look at who I'm meeting in those boardrooms, and I've had to say to myself, how am I going to show up? How do I want these people to see me? How do I want, what message do I want to send? And that goes into the way I dress for that meeting, the way I walk into that meeting, down to the handbag sometimes that I carry to that meeting. It all counts in how you want to show up. Now I'm not really in corporate anymore because I'm now fully into the whole entrepreneur gig. And sometimes even us as entrepreneurs, we don't think of how we want to show up. There are days that I just rock up to my grocery store and maybe I didn't even put on powder because I just want to drop something off. And one day I remembered my mom saying to me, this was when I was growing up and I was about to leave the house, and she said to me, "You're not going out like that, right?" And I said, "What's wrong with the way I'm going out?" She's like, "Just put on some powder and lip gloss or something, and maybe change your pants, or maybe change your shirt." And that has stuck with me that, I'm a lazy dresser. I don't know, like there are some of us that are lazy dressers. And I've had somebody who has dressed me before. There was a time I had somebody who was really into my image and all of that. And she dressed me and she realized I'm a very lazy dresser. I'm a lazy dresser. That whole thing of putting the ensemble, I am lazy to do that. And I know that I'm lazy. So every time I'm lazy for that. Every time I want to go out, I have to put the thought into it. I have to put the thought into which lipstick. Do I really want to put, you won't believe it, just to put mascara for this video, it was a thought for me. But it's all about how I want to show up in making this video. I want to show up confident. I want to show up presentable. I want to show up put together. I want to show up knowledgeable. I can't be telling you to show up right when I'm not even showing up right to my video. I have to do what I preach, essentially. I have to be what I preach. So ask yourself how you want to show up every day. One of the prayers that I always say is, Lord, make me a blessing. I want to show up as a blessing for everybody every day. And also wisdom. I want to show up as a wise person every day. I'm not arrogant, not the arrogant kind of wisdom, but wisdom that impacts, wisdom that changes people, wisdom that touches lives, wisdom that comes with humility. That is the kind of wisdom that I want every single day, that I want to exhibit every single day. So how do you want to show up? All of the stuff I've said, I've talked about it from my perspective and things that I see, but your perspective may be different. So ask yourself, how do I want to show up? And if you can answer the question of how you want to show up every single day, I promise you, your walk in this life, your journey will be a lot easier. See you on the next video. Cheers and show up right. Bye.